Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Yoga Anywhere. My name is Amanda and I'm going to be taking you through the practice today. And today we're going to be going through Sun Salutation A or Surya Namaskar A. And this is a really important sequence of poses to know and understand because you're going to see it in a lot of yoga classes. You'll see it in your average vinyasa flow class, you'll see it in Ashtanga classes, as well as other different types of classes. And it's often taught quite quickly with the expectation that students just know what they're doing. So if you're new to the practice or you've been feeling uncomfortable with your Sun Salutation A, I'm going to walk you through it in this practice. So we're going to come onto our feet. We're going to start at the top of our mat, so starting maybe about 6 inches from the very edge of your mat. You can come with big toes touching, heels a bit apart, or hip width distance. It's your choice here. So as you find your comfortable pose, we're going to start with Tadasana, which is mountain pose, and this is actually a really important pose to know. We're going to get nice and strong through our feet, so thinking about grounding down through the 4 corners of your feet, from your big toe to your pinky toes down to your heels, and then heels back up to your big toes. Engaging through your quads, getting nice and strong through your legs. Engaging through your core and having a slight tug of your abdomen. So you don't want your pelvis to be too far out or too far under, just nice and even, rib cages in line. Now bring your shoulders up towards your ears and down your back, and allow your arms to be nice and long by your sides. Your neck is going to be right in line with the rest of your neck, so slightly tucking your chin and drawing the crown of your head up towards the sky. All right, here is your Tadasana or your mountain pose. Now let's begin to move. On an inhale, reach your arms up towards the ceiling. On an exhale, you're going to hinge at your hips, slightly bending your knees, diving forward, keeping a nice, long, straight back. Coming into your forward fold here, relaxing through your head and neck. On an inhale, you're going to draw your hands to your shins, creating a nice, long spine here. Teachers will often say looking forward. You don't want to be looking directly forward, creating a kink in your neck. Think about if you had a little orange back here or a lemon. We're not trying to make lemonade or orange juice. We want to keep our spine nice and long, including our neck, but our gaze is going to be slightly forward in front of us. All right, and then on your exhale, you're going to fold forward. Okay, let's do that once more. Inhale, draw your hands to your shins, long spine. Exhale, folding forward. Planting your hands, stepping back to plank pose. Okay. Coming into plank, we're going to create a nice long line with our body, so a line from the crown of your head all the way to your heels. You want to think about spreading through all 10 of your fingers and slightly pushing up to create a slight bubble in your back. If this feels like too much or you're sinking down or your butt's coming up and you can't keep that long line, drop your knees down. Nothing wrong with that to build up your abdominal strength. All right, we're going to move through knees, chest, chin, as a variation for Chaturanga before we move through Chaturanga. And this is a really great place to start if you're not familiar with Surya Namaskar A or you're new to yoga. So dropping down to your knees, thinking about hinging yourself forward, hinging through your elbows, dropping your chest down to the ground, chin down to the ground, untucking your toes and drawing your chest through for Little Cobra. So as you come into your Little Cobra, you want to think about reaching your chest up towards the sky and keeping your gaze nice and long. Exhale to lower. All right, come back to your knees. We're going to try that once more. So we're in our plank pose. We drop our knees down. We hinge through our elbows, drop our chest, drop our chin, untuck our toes, and sweep ourselves through for Little Cobra. Great. Exhale, releasing down. Inhale, get nice and strong. And then exhale, downward facing dog. And downward facing dog is like the quintessential pose of yoga. I feel like it's one that we do in all classes. So I'm just going to walk you through it quickly. You want to be strong through all 10 of your fingers. So spreading your hands and really getting nice and strong. Straight through the arms. And thinking about creating an A shape minus the cross or an upside down V. So sometimes to do this, we need to bend our knees to get our hips nice and high. You want to think about having a nice long line from your fingertips all the way to your hips and then all the way down to your feet. People get really stressed out about having their heels down towards the mat. You can see that my heels don't get to the mat and it's not a big deal, they rarely do. As well, sometimes people worry about having their knees bent. They'll try to straighten their legs and they'll end up rounding through their back. This puts a lot of pressure on your wrist. So you really want to reach out of your hands. If your calves are too tight or your hamstrings are too tight, just bend your knees. Really good. On your next inhale, looking towards your hands, and as you exhale, walk your feet to meet your hands at the top of your mat. Inhale, draw your hands to your shins, half lift, lengthen, and then exhale, folding forward. On an inhale, reach your arms up towards the ceiling, and then exhale, hands to heart center, Sun Salutation A, releasing down to Tadasana. All right, that's your Surya Namaskar A with the knees, chest, chin. Now we're going to move through with Chaturanga and upward facing dog. On an inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky. Exhale, hinge at your hips, diving forward, bending your knees if you need to. Inhale, draw your hands to your shins, half lift, lengthen. Exhale, folding forward, planting your hands, stepping back to plank pose. Take an inhale in plank pose, getting nice and strong. And as you exhale, hinge through your elbows, rocking forward, lowering down so you're in one straight line. Inhale, untuck your toes, upward facing dog. Really good. Bringing your chest through and reaching it towards the sky. Exhale, downward facing dog, rolling over your toes. Adjusting your stance if you need to, maybe pedaling out your legs. We'll take a couple of breaths here. On your next inhale, looking towards your hands, step, hop, or walk your feet to meet your hands. Inhale, draw your hands to your shins, half lift, lengthen. Exhale, folding forward. On an inhale, reach your hands up towards the ceiling. Exhale, hands to your heart, Sun Salutation A, down to Tadasana. All right, now you've got an understanding of how to go through Surya Namaskar A. A couple of points that I want to remind you of. Tadasana matters, so having that nice strong mountain pose ready to start, really good posture, really strong, engaging the core, engaging the legs, engaging the glutes, shoulders are long and down. You start off really well here. Now thinking about as you reach your arms, you want to reach long, and then you want to dive. So sometimes people reach and then they collapse. That's not very good for your back. You want to think about reaching, bending through your knees, and diving forward with a nice long back. Then we talked about reaching forward, nice and long, not cranking your neck. And then exhaling, planting your hands back to your plank pose. Now we've got our nice strong plank pose, adjusting as you need to. And then a couple key things for Chaturanga. Shifting your weight forward, keeping your wrists over, or your shoulders over your wrists, hinging through your elbows only to 90 degrees. You don't want to be down like this or up like this. That's really hard on the body. You want to just be nice and straight, nice and strong, and without touching anything down into upward facing dog. I'm breathing a little bit heavy because that is hard work. You want to really follow the inhales and exhales as you do it, and be really honest with yourself if it's too hard. It took years for me to build up the strength to do that, and I've been practicing yoga for a long, long time. So your body might not be ready for it, and if it's not, just thinking about doing that knees, chest, chin. So from your plank pose, dropping your knees down, getting your chest down, your chin, untucking. You can even come up to upward facing dog from here. Exhale, downward facing dog. All right. I hope that helps you out with Surya Namaskar A. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments or send me an email, info@mvomyoga.com. If you enjoy this episode of Yoga Anywhere, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and thanks for watching. Namaste.